Hi, this is Shoshana Shea, and in today's video I wanted to share another tip that I've discovered along my own journey in developing a blog and working towards having a passive income and towards having some of my work online. And that is what to do or where you can begin if you're wanting to have a blog, or if you discover that it could be beneficial to have a blog. Actually, having a blog is quite therapeutic. There are a lot of benefits to starting to work on having a blog, and we can get to the benefits in just a little bit. First, I wanted to share two ideas as to where to start. There are quite a number of videos, websites, and courses out there that will teach you in a more professional manner, if you will, how to plan your blog, how to prepare your blog, how to discover what niche you're going to be working in, how to monetize your blog. All of those details, those tips are already out there. So what I wanted to share was something a little bit different. Is what do you do if you do not have a budget to be able to sign up for one of these courses? What can you do if you are not yet clear about what kind of blog you're wanting to create? Do you have to wait until you have all of the details neatly planned out and have your business plan in order? Do you have to wait, or can you start your blog? And I could share a couple of ideas from my own experience. We did just go ahead and put up our own blogs. To a certain extent, perhaps that was not the best method to use. There is benefit to going and doing that background research and coming up with clarifying what information you'd put up, what blog posts you'd be writing, what products or services you might be sharing, whether you're going to be doing promoting any of your own services, your own ideas, your own products, or perhaps your own books, or whether you're promoting instead other people's products and other people's services. There's a difference to how you write and you craft the blog posts, and there's pros and cons to each of them, which we're not going to be getting into right now. What I wanted to say is, what do you do if you don't have the clarity, and if you don't yet have a clear idea as to what your work would be doing? Do you have to wait for all of those answers? So an exercise that I did recently, I've been going and revamping, improving some of the format of my blog on my beahappymom.com website, and I'm slowly improving the format of the blog on my Creations from Jerusalem as well. And I decided to backtrack and have a look at the first blog that I'd created, which was on a different platform. The name that I chose at the time had significance for me. A lot of people didn't quite understand the name that I chose, but I enjoyed the name, and I used it for helping to craft certain blog posts. So what I wanted to share was, if you're undecided, and if you don't know, you haven't perhaps written a blog article before, you haven't worked on a website before, do you have to wait? I would say no. I would say get started, because by getting started, firstly, you're starting to develop and to grow and to get to have an online presence. That's step number one. Secondly, as you go and you work on your blog, you can start to learn things like how to write the headings correctly, how to research keywords, how to research topics, how to write your blog articles, how to put in the photographs within the blog post, how to be inserting your videos. All of that formatting and all of those details in the tech side, you'd be learning by doing it, which is, there's tremendous value to that. And as you progress, there are a number of things that you can gain, which is why I say that developing your blog, even if you do not have that clarity as to how to be able to turn that into a business right up front, What you do gain is you can gain confidence, you can gain insight, it's a certain amount of personal development. It also helps you to know what kinds of blog articles do you need to read and what kinds of videos do you need to watch in order to gain the information and the skills that you need to continue to progress with the blog that you're developing. And as you progress and as you continue to add blog posts, and as you start to have comments from people, or perhaps you'll discover that you need to improve your traffic, and that might bring you to learn information like how do you improve your SEO, and what is SEO? What is this keyword? Do I need to have one keyword or a long tail keyword, which is having a couple of words? Is it significant if I'm going to make a slight difference in the words that I'm using? As I mentioned in last week's video, that by adding one word that was to me tremendously significant word to be using. I'm sorry for repeating that word, but it's an appropriate word to be using. Instead of looking for how to develop an online store, I started to look for how to develop an online gift store. And that for me made a tremendous difference. And so it is as you're working with your blog, you can start to discover what kinds of products might you be interested in promoting through your blog posts. What kind of topics would you like to write about? Do you have some ideas about categories? All of these details you can start to develop and to refine as you're working with your blog. And then as things progress and you gain in knowledge and you gain in skills and you're starting to meet other people and to develop a little bit of a network, you can start to refine your blog. And your blog then can be a stepping stone, whether you alter the name later on or whether you start to progress. Perhaps initially you use a free platform and then you progress to having your website and your blog on WordPress, which is a transition that we ourselves made. You can learn what opportunities are there for if you're wanting to do print onto products, and how do you integrate that with your blog. There are all sorts of things that you can start, that opportunities that start to open up because you've had your blog and you've started to work with it. Another idea that I discovered from starting to develop notebooks and journals is that you could do something similar to this, an exercise similar to this, but instead of putting it already live up online, you can start to write out your potential blog posts in a journal or a writer's notebook. And I can put a link if you're interested in a notebook that you can purchase. I'll put it in the show notes below. And in that book, you can start to do some brainstorming or some free association, start to work with words, discover, do a little bit of research and see which of those words, if you do a search on Google or you do a search on YouTube, which of those words would be useful words to be writing blog posts. You can start to have a look at what other material is out there and what could you do a little bit different. So you could start to prepare your blog posts already in a notebook or a journal, and then as you progress and you're doing your research, you'd have already some written out potential articles or notes towards articles, and then that information you can use towards being able to plot and prepare your blog. The other idea that I could share with you, the third idea, is similarly to having your long handwritten ideas that you're doing in your notebook or in your journal. Perhaps you want to find a workbook that you could work with as well. Another option is to open a Word document and to start to do a similar kind of an exercise, but this time keep it in a file, in documents within your computer, and then it'll be easily available. You don't have to then retype it to put it into a format that you could use then for your blog posts. So you'd be sort of pre-writing all of your blog, and then once you have a certain amount of blog posts ready, prepared, you can start to reshuffle and organize. What order would you put them in? Is the article long enough for for the kind of material and the kind of articles that are popular in today's time? Do you have you looked at what the word count is? What is the quality of your writing? You could have a look at that as well. You could show a couple of the potential articles to friends or to family and get a little bit of feedback, or you can ask some questions in certain groups and network in social media and discover to what extent are your ideas of a beneficial purpose to other people who are either already within your network, or you can start to make connections to prepare yourself towards being able to set up your blog post. Then once you've done all this background work, as you can see that putting up a blog post putting up a blog, not just a blog post, but a blog itself, and working towards learning whatever you need to make this blog successful. What you can then do, once you've started to gain some skills and you've got some insight and now you've got some ideas as to what you would be doing, then you've got quite a sizable amount of background information that you can then take towards being able to do a paid course. And those paid courses will help to refine your ideas and assist you in making your blog so much more successful. So those are a couple of tips that I had. If you are already on a level that you're ready to start looking to purchase a course or to sign up to take an online course to help you with developing your website and to help you with what kind of blog you're going to be writing, two online courses that I would recommend are courses done by Pat Flynn. He's somebody that I've been following for quite a number of years and gained quite a lot of ideas, and being able to interact with him, reading his newsletter has been an invaluable experience. And the two courses that I would recommend, which I can put into the show notes below, would be his Smart from Scratch, which is how to come up with deciding whether your idea would be successful and of benefit, and will you be able to receive income back from all the effort that you're putting in doing your research and in writing your articles, or will it just be almost like a hobby that you're doing? So his course on Smart from Scratch will give you all that information, and he also has a course out about how to develop your blog and how to make that a successful blog, all the details that you're needing to learn. So if you're on a level that you're able to start to pay for a course, those are two courses that I do recommend. I'll put the links to these courses in the show notes below. I would say up front, just to be completely clear, that these two links are affiliate links. It doesn't have any impact on what you're paying. There's no difference to the charge, the fee that you pay. But what it does is that I get a little bit of a commission if you do decide that you sign up through that link, and that's appreciated. It helps me to be able to continue to put out some videos. It helps me to continue with developing my own website and my own blog. I hope that the tips that I've shared in this video have been of benefit for you, and I'd be interested to hear from you. Have you found your blogging experience to be therapeutic for you as well, as I found for myself? Have you found that you knew up front exactly what it is that you wanted to do? Are you able to just run with an idea, or are you needing to take that a few steps back and start charting it in a journal, or start putting it into documents, in a Word document perhaps, or if you're wanting a free program, in a LibreOffice document? Or would you like to start, or have you started attempting to put up your own blog? How have you found that process? I'd love to hear from you, and I'm interested to hear what you would like to know in another video. So with that, I say I wish you a very blessed day. It's Shoshana Shea here from a very sunny Jerusalem, and look forward to seeing you in another video. For now.